outage in the entire studio. Like it was like
the whole floor. Yeah,
everything went out. We were like,
they were like running out in the halls. It was like,
it was like, and it's so dark. There's
It's
literally
so
no
dark.
windows in here. It's just so dark. We were all like, what happened? Jarvis puts on his flashlight on his phone. I open the door. I'm like, is it
Is it everywhere?
Is it everywhere?
Meanwhile, Victoria's like, oh, I love this fan.
Oh,
though.
she's like, this fan's not going off though because it's powered by Power Pack.
Thank God she was here with us.
I mean, we really were like little children right there.
I know.
We were
I
like,
really resorted to.
Because
It was talking about our
scary
5-year-old
monster.
selves
I know.
getting ears pierced.
Yeah.
We were witches. We didn't know it. I was in the middle of telling a story, and I'll get to the good part instead of the part about me like eating and buying irons. So I took my food. I had to eat something quick because I was like ready to like woo, like did way too much without eating today.
Oh, that's not good.
And went to sit outside, and there was like this like group of 3 very thin, very hipster, very young 20-somethings, and they all looked like they belonged in like some band or like they wanted to belong in a band or something. I don't know. And when I was walking up, they were talking about a friend of theirs who apparently a girl who like got laid last night, and they were all like, yeah, she likes to fuck, she's a whore, she's like bro-tastic, like saying all this crap about her. And I was like, ew, does she know you talk about her that way?
Did you say that?
No.
Oh.
I felt it. I sent it to them with my energy. So what's interesting is that the one kid who I think picked up on it changed the subject to his friend who...
Wait, these are guys?
These are guys.
Oh, I thought
guys.
they were girls.
No,
Sorry,
young
guys.
guys.
Okay.
Young guys. And they started talking about a guy friend of theirs who they think is fat, apparently.
Oh.
And they were like, yeah, he's like trying to say that like he can be like look like he does and be fat and healthy. And he's like, I'm eating a salad, I go running. And we're like, dude, you're fucking fat and like totally unhealthy. Like then they started like talking shit. And I literally was like this, and I was like, you are so lucky. I have so much to do right now that I'm not going to read you to filth outside of this Whole Foods 365. I was really, really ready to go. I feel my Philly came up
and
so
and you hadn't eaten yet?
I had no. I was eating my pizza as he's talking. I'm like eating pizza. I'm like eating a huge slice of pizza.
Okay, so at least you weren't hangry, because if you were hangry, it was like. No, like there was nothing holding you
and
back.
Honestly, an older guy came up to them and sort of interrupted it, and I was glad because he was like a normal person and not like a douche nozzle. So anyway, so we were talking about, you know, the needing allies, and in that moment,
right,
like I really wanted to be an ally for their friend, even in his absence. And I wanted to like be like, give me that guy's number. I wanted an event for him to come to.
Yeah.
And I literally was like, he should come to
Actually,
the
you guys should
documentary.
come to the Fatitude screening.
Yes.
Let's get you checked in, guys.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think a lot of people, I even saw a friend of mine who was in Wicked with me back in the day. Who's a Broadway star. I mean, she like has been in many Broadway shows. She just had a kid. And she was like, she said, like, I wonder what my life would be. She wrote in a Facebook post, I wonder what my life would be like if I wasn't worrying about my weight and my size at all times. And I've never seen people comment faster. And it's all like, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful. And I was kind of like, girl, you should watch my podcast.
Yeah.
Because that's the person who needs to come to this Fatitude movie.
Yeah.
Because we all internalize it and make it our problem.
Yeah.
We make it an individual problem. And it is a societal fuckfest.
Totally.
Like, it's literally... The movie Fatitude makes this so clear. And you watch it, and even though I know all the things that we've been talking about for the last 2.5 years,
right,
I literally was like, oh, right, unlearning. I'm still unlearning this. I'm still unlearning this. And so whereas I feel like the Embrace one that we did last year, the documentary, was very like individualized. It was very individual stories.
Right, sure.
This is very like breaking down the systemic problems.
Right.
And it just will heal so many people. And that's
I am trying to get everybody to come. Like, I'm not like even going, oh, you're fat, you should come. I'm like, every person, because I know every girl has a body issue thing. My sister the other day was trying on bathing suits, and she was like, oh, I have a tummy. I'm like, you had a child.
Yeah. And
she was like, well, so-and-so doesn't have a tummy. I'm like, oh, so we're comparing now.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we're doing? Because we're not. And she was like, well, no, I'm not. I'm like, no, you were. You were. And you had a child, and who cares if you have a belly?
Yeah.
Who cares if you're the fattest one there?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's a real thing. I mean,
It's
I am the fattest one in my family. So, like, I don't really care about it. But,
Yeah.
it's
and for that, too, I also think, and we talked about this when we were at our closet sale, like all of these like chubby girls who like found this haven and were surrounded by everyone who looked like them, and there were just one or two people who didn't look like them,
right?
Where like that dynamic was so shifted, because in LA,
yeah,
a lot of times you are the biggest girl in any room,
and
any
yes,
room.
For sure.
So like for all of us to gather, and
then for newbies who are like, this is like Mecca.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, wait a minute. I have several labels I can find here, not just one.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can bring my clothes here, and
no matter what size I am.
Yeah.
Like, bring my smaller stuff, bring my bigger stuff. No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
And someone will buy it.
Yeah.
And I'll get credit for it. And I can buy new things that fit me today.
I know.
Yeah, it really is. And
feel really good about what I'm wearing right now.
Yeah. So our article does touch on all of that, guys. And I think that it's time to, as we are sort of getting emboldened in being an ally in our other ways, like with like Black Lives Matter, with
the Meetcute
LGBTQ. Yeah. I think that with body bias, we have to kick it up.
Yeah.
Especially kids are like harming themselves at a really young age because of it. And that's another thing that Fatitude really talks about.
Yeah.
I also think that talking about what works and that's why I can't wait to get Victoria, and we should show up and bring her out here.
Right.
Because what works, like what are the tools that work? And my friend today called me, Jamie. Hi, Jamie. She was like, I have to tell you, you yelled at me and made me add people on my Instagram feed that were my size. And she's like, it literally changed my life.
Yeah.
She's like, it literally has shifted my brain waves, like where they go to.
I mean, I think about that. I think about like when you're looking at people you went to high school with or whatever, and you're like, people, we just naturally compare, like, oh, I'm thinner than her, or oh, I'm fatter than her, or whatever, like, or she's more successful, she has more kids, she has a single life, like whatever it is, we're always comparing. If you're on Facebook, if you're in life, whatever, like, that's I think the biggest issue is like, we got to stop comparing. And how do we do that?
Yeah. And like, I think you do that by having yourself reflected back.
Yeah, like you got to see it.
If everyone's represented, then no one feels left out.
Right.
Then no one feels like, oh, I have to be seen.
No one feels other.
In order to be seen, I have to look this way.
Right.
I think that's a big step. So, Love Yourself Day 2 is gonna be off the chain.
You guys, we're getting really good little goodies already.
We can announce that Reagan Chastain is going to come and be on the panel, who is a part of the movie. We're working on some other people who are part of the movie. We'll let you know how that goes.
But you guys have to buy tickets, because it won't happen unless you guys buy tickets.
Yes, unfortunately, with the state of what we're in is that we have to convince a movie theater that 100 fat people or their allies want to come see a movie, a documentary about body bias, and body positivity. So and we even in order to make it so that people who have $13 that they want to kind of donate, but they don't know how,
and they can't come,
and they can't come if you're obviously not in LA. You can buy a ticket and sponsor a young woman who is working with Penny Lane centers,
right?
And
they're usually working out
of foster care.
Out of foster care.
So we have like
really
our
great.
young teens, early 20 somethings coming. Like they're like, she was like on it today.
Yeah, it's great.
Nydia was like, I'm on it. It's there. That's close by, that movie theater. We'll get on it.
Awesome.
So buy a ticket for one of those ladies.
Yeah,
and that would be really great. We'd love to see you. That's Tuesday, June 26th, 7:30. Bags, giveaways, panel,
all the things, panel.
Loving
you get
yourself.
to hang out with us.
Yes.
We're going to give hugs. Kathy's going to too. I gave everybody hugs. But you guys, our sponsor, Scrubs, they were on TV.
They were. I cried.
I know.
I cried. I have it saved for you.
I know. I have to come over and watch it. I haven't seen it yet.
There's this show on Bravo. Where's the name of it?
Sell It Like Surrant.
Yeah. I'm definitely Surrant. I don't know.
It's on Bravo. Google it.
And he's like a big salesman.
Yeah.
And he goes and like helps people who are trying to be salespeople. And of course, Roberta is an amazing human, and she took someone in to live with her who's going through a really rough time, and she has her working at her gorgeous spa, which I'm so glad. I want to go to New York now and like just go to her spa.
Yeah.
And because their products are dope, y'all.
Oh my gosh, they're the
and
best.
she was amazing, and she totally made me cry. I won't give away the ending, but Roberta does something at the end that literally is a boohoo moment because she's so generous and wonderful and amazing and loving. And we have like really hot pictures of her. I don't know if you got to see them.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't know if
but,
you put them up or
but
not.
we'll try to put a picture up
Yes.
on our social media. And
guys, friend of the show, Joy Nash, Dietland premiered on Monday. I hope you guys watched it.
and the feedback has been awesome.
Yeah, and then like if you look at anything that's not, I'm like, you're thin and you just don't get it. You have thin privilege. You don't get it. Like, please stop. You don't get it.
Yeah. I haven't really came across that many of those, like in big papers, like in like actual publications.
You know, online. They're all online.
Yeah, but I mean like people who are like, legit.
Oh, I will send you one if you want.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And I was like, you be thin privilege.
Do
right
we
there.
need to? Do we need to write a little commentary back?
We might.
Maybe we might have to do that. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
We might.
I will say that there's the live after show, Unapologetic, which at first we were like, okay, Aisha Tyler, why you gotta be all thin?
I know.
And being the host.
I know, but she's awesome.
But she is really, really awesome and good.
Yeah.
And Lindy West was on, and Joy was on,
Yeah.
and the showrunner was on. It was just it was great. It was, and people were calling in, and I was like, I'm still calling in next week. No, 'cause I'm crazy. It's a really good show, guys. Watch it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's shut it down.
Yeah.
So we get to commercial.
Take a break.
Taking a break.
We're gonna take a break from our break that we had when the power went out. And we'll be right back with Victoria Welsby.
You know that 67% of American women are size 14 and above.
You mean they look like this?
Yeah, girl.
So then where are we in television and film?
And where are we in fashion magazines and clothing stores?
Yeah.
So we want to help out entertainment and fashion and media.
Catch the F up.
Topics get hot. We want to hear what y'all have to say.
And they will get hot.
Absolutely.
I have a question for you. It's kind of like a dirty little one. So if you had to do a love scene with somebody else famous, who would it be?
Oscar Isaac.
Oh, love how I asked you that and you had an answer like right away.
We sang, we laughed, we cried. We
You gotta go back. No, we didn't cry.
We didn't cry.
Everybody should be able to be seen in, I mean, maybe not every single campaign, but let's try to include it in as many campaigns as we can.
Witchy poo, we told you.
We're just putting it in the
meditate.
cauldron for you.
We're gonna get the candles.
Yeah.
People are having sex with us. We need to show that we're like part of this society, and being sexual is part of that.
Absolutely.
So tough titty, you're fucking uncomfortable.
Watch a fat girl love herself.
Applause, applause,
But just
applause.
us.
Just us applauding.
Applauding.
Thanks.
So good.
Plus this. We're back.
Oh, you guys, my microphone just turned on. We're back. Big girl karaoke.
Big girl karaoke.
Big girl karaoke. Big girl
Gave
karaoke.
us our life. I'm telling you. Creole lady mama live.
Oh my gosh, it was so fun.
You were so, that was
so fun.
You picked the right one. Anyway,
I did.
Victoria's
I sure
here, guys.
did. Guys.
She's hung out in the dark with us.
With the dark, yeah.
She played 7 Minutes in Heaven with us. And she was a good girl. She didn't get frisky.
Well, you were quite far away from her.
I was.
Speak for yourself.
I don't know what happened on the other end of the table, y'all. But please welcome Victoria Welsby to the show. Yes! Bam Pow Life.
Bam pow.
Thanks for having me, ladies.
Thank you.
You're
for
so
being
fancy
here.
with your
Guess what?
accent. What?
I don't have pierced either.
Oh, do you have jelly bean ears? What's going on?
Oh, I had them pierced when I was like 15, and then I was like, no, it hurts too much, and they got infected just like yours.
Yeah.
I think that's the strain of fabulousness is having clip-on earrings.
Oh,
Right?
are you saying I'm not?
Clip-on
Are you saying I'm not fabulous?
No, you
Saying
have
you have
clip-on
clip-on
earrings.
At this moment, but I
Exactly.
mostly don't.
Yeah, I'm saying you're not fabulous.
Yeah, that's what she was saying.
Rude.
No.
You're out, Victoria. You're out.
I just know who to send all of my clip-on earrings
Yes,
to.
now.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely. Well,
Yes.
I'll take pictures of them and be like, girl, did you see this one?
Yeah.
I have so many from the 90s, guys. It's crazy.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh, I bet. Because
Oh,
do
they're
they even
obnoxious.
make any new ones?
Yes, Eva. Anyway.
Do they?
Back to you.
Do they?
We have her here
Okay.
on this.
I like to
post
roast you.
in this area. I feel like she's
I
a
know.
world traveler.
No, you are a world traveler.
Am I? You're making me sound more fabulous than maybe I am.
Come on.
I am. Yes, I am.
So we're reading an article about the difference between being fat in the UK and being fat in the States.
Yes.
And you know what it's like to be fat in Canada also.
Yeah,
We were
and
wondering if
England,
you
yeah.
could- yeah, we were wondering if you could speak to that a little bit.
Yes. So
I guess we're just jumping ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're just jumping ahead. We're just
I'm
skipping.
sorry.
We're just skipping it all
like,
ahead.
who is this person?
We're like, they don't
Who
know
is
anything
she?
about her, but
I know,
let's get
but
her
we'll
opinions.
Find out about her.
Let's get her
We'll
opinions.
Find out about her.
Do tell us.
Okay. So, being fat in England, like the article that we're talking about, fat people or people in general are really fashion conscious, and so and I think a little bit more accepting of fatness as an attractive quality, and so it's way easier to find a man or find a fabulous outfit and just feel amazing. But of course there's fatphobia, whereas in Canada, which is where I live now, it's kind of difficult for someone to overlook your fatness, and it is way more fatphobic. So, and I can't find any clothes. So,
Yeah,
makes me sad.
We're gonna totally remedy that. Yes, we saw your post about dating, and we reposted speed dating, and about what like a waste of time that ended up being.
oh my God,
I'm
I met a
sure.
real life Meninist. Yeah, you know, a men's right activist.
Oh.
I was like, get the fuck out of here. And
You're
there
like,
was-
you legitimately feel like you need more rights?
yes, he was like,
Oh, gross. I'd be like, really? Is this like a prank show? Am I on a prank show?
How many women were there putting up with him?
there was probably about 20 women.
Wow.
And so the person before, he was like, because one of my questions is are you a feminist? And he was like, oh, you know, Bill Cosby, you know, the women, you know, wanted it. And I was like, bitch, I don't think so.
Oh my
and
God.
Then, and then he's like,
I'm literally guys, you're not watching, you're listening. I am shocked.
No,
Like,
Kathy's mouth is
gasping.
agape.
I know, my mouth was agape. And he was like, you probably think I'm an asshole. And I'm
You're like, yes, I do.
yes, I
Yeah.
do.
Why
You're
don't
like,
you think you're an asshole?
Yeah.
Why aren't you wondering why
like,
you have those
are you
thoughts?
trying to shove those words back into your mouth as they're coming out? Because you should.
And I was just like looking at him like, And so the date is 5 minutes, and for 5 minutes he was like, well, you know, and Harvey Weinstein, oh yeah, him too, you know, the women, you know, all this like shit that he was saying. Like,
Meaning the women were trying to get something from them.
yes,
So
they
therefore,
knew what they were getting into, and I was like, bitch, get out of here. And then this other guy, the Meninists, the men's right activist, sat down, and he's like, you're not one of those Me Too movement people, are you? And I was like, you and what? Hello?
Wow.
Yeah.
You're like,
And I
I
was like,
mean,
you're
is
joking,
it?
right?
Was it a prank show?
No, because I kept saying to him, "You're joking, right?" Because I was like, because you heard what he was saying, and I was like, "You're joking. You are a feminist, right? You are." And he was like, no. So
Wow.
Yeah.
And not
That's so
one.
sad.
All toads, not one in the bunch.
no.
No. So who convinced you to do it? Because I would need to be
Heavily
tricked.
No, you'd have to be
Trickery.
tricked. Yeah, yeah.
Major trickery.
We're like, Kathy, we're gonna go out, and then I'm like, oh, sit here, bye.
yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to do?
Oh,
speed
Kathy
dating?
is really anti-dating. Really,
I don't.
Oh.
First of all, that's not true. She's out of her mind.
No, okay,
Victoria,
she
we need
wants
your
to
help.
date.
We
No,
need your
no,
help.
she
Your
does
expert
want
advice.
to date, but you're not open to dating.
I know. I am not.
You
open.
hate men right now.
No, I am not open to the way people date now.
Also,
Like
you're not
these
even like when guys
things-
try to pick up on you. You are oblivious.
Well, that is something that I'm trying to get over. That is definitely like, that's like crazy fat, internalized fat phobia.
Yes.
So a guy might be like, oh, hey, baby, you're so sexy. And you're like, oh.
No, she's like, oh, I'm just a fetish.
No, I think that was season 1. I mean, Eva, get on board. Get on board with how we've had growth in our lives.
Okay, well, yes, you may have had growth, but let's be real. You are like, you are not about the men, the opposite gender right now.
I am very angry a lot. Like, even,
I'm feeling you. I am feeling you.
And it takes extraordinary. They have to be truly extraordinary for me to even not be like, go fuck yourself.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'll meet like someone online and they'll look great and I'll be like arrange a date, and then as soon as I've arranged a date they're like, hey, I have a penis, and you're like, yep, really nice. And you know, then they'll be like, oh, hey, by the way, I hate women, or hey, by the way, I hate fatties, or whatever it is. And it's like, why are you ruining my life? Stop it.
Yeah, but see, Kathy won't even go to online dating.
No, I don't like
no,
it.
you will not do it.
No, I've had terrible experiences. I just don't like it. I don't think that it's made for everybody.
She wants her meet cute.
I want my what?
Your meet cute.
Yeah.
I want to meet cute.
Yeah.
Like in the movies.
Like in the movie, it's like a meet cute.
You know how someone meets, you know, and it's
that's
kind of
like cute. Like you meet out somewhere and it's like a cute
like your
what,
dog.
What industry are you in that you don't know what a meet cute is?
I don't know what anyone's talking about right now. I feel like I'm on another
like Peter
planet.
and I have a meet cute. Like the way that we met is in a very cute, dumb way.
I've never used that phrase in my entire life.
You learned something on Plus this show.
Thank God. I tune in every week.
Maybe the listeners don't know what it is either.
Yeah.
So
maybe.
it's like, you know, a moment or happenstance, and so like you have a dog and it gets off its leash and then runs into the road, and then some handsome man grabs it and says, here's your dog, and you're like, oh my God, you're so lovely, and then you fall in love and get married.
Yeah, like you're
That'll
just
be the
like,
meet cute.
hi, I'm Eva, and he's like, hi, I'm Ben, and you're like, oh my God.
I have to
It's so
say,
nice to
I
meet
don't
you.
even live that large in my mind. I really just think that I'm going to be pursuing things that I love and doing things that I'm interested in, and that person's going to be a part of my life somehow.
Yeah, I think that too.
That's the
I
way
think that too.
it's always worked, and it worked.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just like,
Worked. That's hilarious.
That's a thing.
Worked. But I will. I'm turning red. I will say that I spent so many years in bars with straight guys in New York and had such like dodgy situations, and then came out here and did some online dating, and it just wasn't satisfying or satisfactory.
See, every online date that I ever had, they had to take me out to a fancy restaurant. I'm sorry, Peter, if you're watching. But I'd always make them take me out to a fancy restaurant, because if they were like, "Oh, I don't want to go there," I'd be like, "Oh, okay, well, this isn't happening." Because if you don't feel like I'm up to that standard, then you're not up to my standard.
Yeah, so they feel like, hey girl, let's go to McDonald's. You're
Yeah,
like,
I was like, bye. No, I'd be like, you got to take me to sushi, or you got to take me to some, you know. I'd be like, here are my 3 restaurants that I'd like to go to, and didn't give them any other options, and never reached for my purse.
And
my
so how
wallet.
did you meet Peter?
Peter and I met in a rando park. I mean, not in a rando park. It was like a weird. I mean, I'll tell you when we go out after.
Okay.
But it was.
He literally was here visiting from Chicago, saw her, tripped because he was so taken aback by her, and then
Oh, my
pursued
God.
her the rest of the afternoon. So she would go out with him.
Hang on, pursued, like chased you?
No. Like, no, we were at an event. There was like an event.
Okay.
So he like kept
it sounds
coming over.
creepy.
No,
She
it's
was in
not
a
creepy
booth.
at all.
She was in a booth, and he was like finding ways.
Yeah, he was like
to come
finding
around.
ways to come over to talk to me, and like
It's actually a very good
it's
story.
a
We're
very
probably
good
going to
story.
make into a movie.
Oh.
Let's go back to you. We're supposed.
I know.
She's really. You're a professor, and I feel it. I feel her smartiness.
Oh, really?
Oh, you're her smartiness. It's really making you like dumbing it down.
No,
yeah.
I'm dumbing it
I'm
down.
just
no.
like staring at you.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
do you know the
She's
answer?
Do you
What's going
raise your
on?
hand? Raise your hand before you speak, miss.
I just feel like she is really good at her job. Tell us about you being a professor and what that is like, and then how it sort of moved into this working with
Activism.
Yeah. So I teach at University of British Columbia, and I teach in the business school there, and I love it. It gives me hope for humanity, because the young people, they're just smart and know stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, I wish I was half as smart as you lot, because they're just like so woke and know about social activism and stuff. It's amazing. So I do that part-time, and then the other half of my time I have my business, BAM POW LIFE, and my goal, just a small goal, no big deal, but it's to change the world.
Oh,
And
no big deal.
Sounds familiar.
easy.
Sounds familiar.
I think I would have achieved it by this weekend, maybe. So I basically want the world to be a nicer place for fat people to exist, and I want women to look at themselves and just be like, I am a fucking queen.
Yes.
No matter what they look like, because I know for all of my life, I would look at myself and just be like, oh, I'm such a failure because of my body. And I look back at pictures of myself and I'm like, bitch, do you not see what you look like?
Yes.
You're gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah, so I want everyone to just feel amazing.
So, BAM POW LIFE.
Mm-hmm.
How did you come up with that name, and does it have like a meaning?
Yeah, so when I started my business, gosh, maybe 5 years ago, it started out as BAM POW Job, because I was in the recruitment industry and I'd see women, I would be putting them forward for jobs, and they would be like, oh, maybe put me on the lower end of the salary bracket, or maybe I'm not qualified enough for this job. And I'd be like, listen up here, I'm the professional, I'm telling you, you're asking for more money and you're so worthy of that job. And I'd be constantly convincing women of their worth, and it wasn't that difficult to get a job that aligned with how awesome they were. And I'd be like, it's like, just get a BAM POW job, like BAM POW, just do it, like quick, fast, you know, just do it. And so then it morphed into BAM POW LIFE when I started my journey on confidence and realizing that aspect was
that was the key that women needed.
Yeah,
it was the thing. BAM POW. So BAM POW is sort of like just it's like almost like just go for it before you even think about it.
Yeah, because really, like, because we're all so
it's like you're a superhero. BAM POW.
Yeah.
I love it.
You just don't need to think about it. Like, we're so in our heads thinking, am I good enough? Am I fat? Am I too fat? Am I pretty enough? Blah blah blah. But
am I educated enough? Am I trained enough? Like, whatever. Yeah.
All of us think we're losers secretly inside, but we're not. We're amazing.
No, for sure.
So you obviously had to come around to this on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about
because
that?
you were homeless and all of this stuff. Like, how did that happen? Like, I mean, you don't have to tell us the whole thing, but like, how did it go from that, like from being so down in the dumps and then to being this amazing, fabulous person that you are now?
Yeah. So I was homeless at 17. I was abused, and my self-esteem was so low. All throughout my childhood, I learned that because I was a fat kid, I wasn't really that fat, I was like slightly chubby, but I learned that being fat was the worst thing that I could be, like worse than being a murderer or a kitten killer or what, you know, anything. And so by the time I was 17 and I became homeless, I was like, well, someone like me doesn't really deserve a home, you know, it's not that big a deal, versus being like, oh, this is not a good situation. And so because of my low self-esteem, all throughout my younger life, I'd accept really shitty situations, like an abusive partner, jobs that I hated, friends that I didn't actually like, because I was a bad friend too, because I'd be like, you know, just didn't feel good about myself and would talk about people behind the back and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, and so then after about, I'd say give or take a few hours, like 1 billion hours of therapy, about roughly.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah, roughly, yeah. I started working on my self-esteem, but still I was accomplished, I was great at my job, I was a good friend, I was a good sister, blah, blah, blah. I still had this thing where it was like, but I'm fat.
But I'm fat.
Like, I'm so good in all these other ways, but I can't get rid of this fatness. And I had to overcompensate for my disgusting body is how I saw it. And then I found Reagan Chastain, one of your previous guests. And I was like, shut the fuck up. Reading her blog post, like, I was like, oh my God, what do you mean I can be fat and it's okay? And it changed everything.
Wow. And how long ago was that?
I'd say maybe 5 years ago. Yeah. And ever since then, it's just like literally the penny dropped and I was like, oh my God, why doesn't everyone know this? This is life-changing stuff.
So was that the thing that got you to reach out to others? So you had it yourself. There's a difference between being someone who like is getting it themselves than to go, oh no, I need to bring everyone along with me. So what was the thing that made you take that leap?
Yeah, so I felt like I was quite well balanced in life, and I really wanted people to be women to be successful. But I didn't clue in the fact, you know, the fat positivity thing. And when I did, it was so powerful for me, and it was so liberating that it was just like having this secret. I couldn't keep it to myself. I can't keep it to myself, because I know someone walking down the street who has no clue about body positivity or fat positivity, if I just say, hey, there's this thing, it could change her life, literally.
Right.
So I see it as my role in life to say, hey, everybody, do you know it's okay to be fat? And for them to be like, really? Oh my God.
And you have an online course that is free.
Right, yeah.
Extreme Confidence and Makeover. So I'm really passionate about getting this information to everybody. So it's a 10-day e-course, so you can sign up and you'll have 10 days of me in your inbox, and with videos and worksheets and whatnot. So yeah, you should check it out.
And where can they find it?
On my website, which is bampowlife.com.
Bam Pow Life.
Bam Pow Life. Yeah.
That's so
I love it.
excellent.
I love
We're
it.
gonna talk. We're gonna take a little break, and then we're gonna do some
little
more
baby
hot,
break,
tiny,
yeah.
teeny, toony break, and then we're gonna come back with more
Hot topics
with Victoria Welsby. This.
Promotional consideration brought to you by Melissa Massey. Custom clothing isn't exclusively for the rich and famous. Melissa Massey is custom-made clothing for everyday wear. A unique combination of custom tailoring and deluxe fabrics that is well made and fit for every size and frame. Made in LA, sold in LA, and online at melissamassey.com. It's not the natural beauty products in your life, but the life in your natural beauty products. Linda Kammen's Aromatherapy Salon, lindacammons.com, for happier, healthier living. Promotional consideration provided by Scrubs Body, a woman-owned business with scrubs so natural they're good for your public parts and your private parts. Scrubsbody.com.
This. I love when I go read the comments during the break, and
your
people are
sister is
screaming
screaming
at
you. Your sister is
me.
screaming
Have
at
you ever
you.
watched The Holiday?
That's where I learned the Meetcute from.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good to know. That's good to know.
Boom.
Well, we should say that you have a TED Talk
Yes.
where
you
showed a
kind
little
of take off
business.
your wrap dress and show and started a little dance in your. Were you wearing a bathing suit or was it underwear and bra?
It was a bathing suit that was customized,
Oh.
bedazzled. Yeah.
Yeah, it was real cute.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Britney Spears style.
Was it Britney Spears? Did you think Britney Spears?
Yeah.
Should I have had a snake around my neck?
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Obviously.
A snake always
Yeah.
makes it.
Yeah.
So was that something that you were like, oh, this is how this has to be buttoned?
Buttoned?
Meaning a
Ended,
button-
like it had to be ended in that way.
no.
That's a musical theater term.
Well, I am. No, you know what? Even to the day before the talk, I was on the fence of to do it or not to do it, because it was kind of like, should I be saying, hey, here's my body, and then potentially objectifying my body? But also I'm like, look at my fat body. You're going to fucking love it. And so at the last minute, I was like, I'm just going to do it. And I'm so pleased I did, because it was amazing. The
I know.
crowd went
We're watching it right now, and everyone's.
They
and
were
they're-
very
you're-
with you.
Yeah.
They were very with you.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was important for me to have humor in my talk, because I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm so mad, stop being mean to us fatties. And so my talk was kind of funny.
Oh, yeah,
And
it was
so
hilarious. Yeah.
They took kind of felt everyone was on the journey with me, and so then it was this triumphant thing, like, I'm fat and I'm gorgeous, dance with me, I'm amazing, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it was great. It
We
was really
posted
great.
it, guys. So after the show, you can find it right on our page.
And see my titties jiggling, and they have a shot of me like jiggling
And your
my
butt,
ass.
your butt, you're like, you're like doing this little butt jiggle. Yeah, it's awesome.
And I'm a really bad dancer, but I don't care. So
I highly doubt you're a bad dancer.
well, no, you saw the video. I'm literally just like. But I'm like,
There's a thing called Fat Kid Dance Party.
I know,
and you should totally. Bevan will get you the groove
because that was like on Saturday, on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Right?
Wednesday, yeah.
Yesterday, I missed
Yesterday.
it.
Oh, boo.
But she travels, so she might be.
Yeah. Oh,
be up there.
and you have a book that's coming out.
No big deal, but multi-talented over here.
Just a multi-hyphenate.
Making it all happen.
Making it all happen over there.
Yep.
So tell us about it.
It's called Fierce Fatty, and I just finished writing it a week ago.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, so I'm super excited. It's going to come out in the next few months, and it's kind of a biography / teaching you how to overcome any confidence issues. So
Wow,
a little
that's
bit of my
awesome.
story, and then
And
how
are
to
you
do
a
it.
natural writer? Like, was that easy for you? Because we were just talking to Jess Baker, and she was saying how hard it was for her to write her biography. Like, she really went into some dark places, and I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Like, was that you're the same? Did you have the same experience, or was it just flowing out of you?
It flowed out of me because I think what I've had I've been, like I mentioned, the billion hours of therapy,
Right.
and so I feel like I've really pinpointed those critical moments in my life where I learned important lessons that I'm not good enough or whatever, and so I'm like, oh, it's crystal clear to me, and so it just flowed out, and then had to get it edited.
Oh,
and
that's
stuff.
awesome.
What do you think is the number one thought or belief system that people have that stops them from being confident? What do you feel like is the thing that it's almost like by rote, this is step one? How can people get started in that?
Okay, so step one for overcoming any confidence issue is I tell people to do what I call a life audit. And so it's looking at every single aspect of your life and saying, is this making me feel like a big bag of dicks, or is it making me feel fabulous? And so social media.
Is it making me feel like a big dick?
I just Victoria, I just want you to know.
Yeah.
Anyone who's good friends with me knows that you are totally my people, because
Yes.
I say bag of dicks on a daily basis. So I just love you. That's all.
Oh, best friends already. Yeah, so you'd look at your social media. Do you have loads of pictures of skinny girls who are like, drink this laxative tea and help you shit your pants so that you can come thin? Or do you have pictures of diverse body types? Look at your friends and family. Are you having relationships with people who are like, you are so ugly, get rid of those bitches?
Yeah.
Your home, do you have stuff in your closet, like a dress that you fit into when you were a toddler, and you're like, why can't I fit into this anymore? I mean, I was this tiny little size, and I'm like a woman. It's so weird, I don't understand. So get rid of that stuff. And activities, so are you doing things that you don't actually want to do? Are you moving your body because you want to lose weight and punish your bad fat body? So that's the big start, is to do a life audit and just see what is triggering those beliefs of the bag of dicks.
I love that.
really-
I like a life audit.
And also, it doesn't I love that it's compartmentalized too, that when you do that, sometimes it can feel like really overwhelming, but if
Yeah.
you break it down, just take your closet. Let's just start with the closet. Let's talk with the physical thing.
Yeah.
Or let's just start with what you look at. What does your social media look like? How do you curate it, to make it be more reflective of who you actually are, and people who actually like themselves at your size?
Yeah.
I love what a great
And that's like
answer.
what we
You're
talked
awesome.
about on our little download. Remember that from last year's Love Your Body?
Oh, people still go and look at it. It's on our Instagram page, guys. If now you can do little stories, little circles at the top. It's so exciting. We have one called Challenge. And you can hit it, and it's a 7 days to start loving your body as it is today.
There we go.
And that it's very similar to what
Yeah.
the work that it's not. The thing is that it's probably all the same in some kind of respect, because it's all undoing It's all the same undoing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I mean, it took you years to get to that thought process, so it can take you years to unravel that. So you don't have to like beat yourself up about how long it's taking you. You just have to be on the journey.
Yeah.
Right?
And some people are like, Victoria, I've been doing this for like 4 weeks and I don't love myself yet. And I'm like, how many years have you been alive? Oh, 30. So, you know, it's going to take time.
Yeah, it's going to take more than 4 weeks.
I think there is like the pink cloud moment where it's like at first it feels like a revelation and you're like, oh, and it's like angels come from the heavens. And you're like, I mean, there's another way.
Right.
Like, there is definitely an aha moment, but then the work does continue and continue and continue. A very good friend of ours, Renee, just today put a bunch of Facebook posts, a bunch of Instagram posts up where she was like, I am trying to edit this video of me talking about how to travel and I'm having such a hard time looking at myself. And she like needed to reach out and like talk about it. And she literally is one of the biggest body positive advocates I've ever met. So, you know, we all are in it. Like, and that's kind of what's great is that it's really not a destination, it's a journey.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
It
and it's interesting
is.
how when you have something bad happen in your life, sometimes for me, my thing is to then start talking shit about my body. Or being like, oh, look at your belly. And it'll be like, why am I thinking like this? Oh, it's because I had a really bad day or whatever. But my automatic thing is to attack myself.
Your synapses are made.
Yeah.
They're like, that's the pattern it goes to.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the same way. Like it's like a little bit, I have to be self-deprecating. Especially if I'm in a room of thin women, I have to like acknowledge that I'm like fat and I'm okay with it. Like I have to like make sure that they know that I know that I'm fat. Like I have to like come out to them a little bit, you know?
Right?
Like I'm fat and I know I'm fat and it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. We'll all be okay. I'm gonna eat in front of you and I'm probably gonna get seconds and deal with it.
Yeah.
It is weird. It's like we're like always like beating to the we're cutting to the quick so that we can be the first one there. A lot of times instead of just like chilling and relaxing into that. That's interesting. So one of the hot topics that happened was the Miss America pageant was like, we're not going to do bikini competition anymore.
Which on one end, I'm like, yay, that's awesome because I get it is a beauty pageant, but do we have to be like analyzing people by the way that they look, and what does that mean? Like, what does it mean to be judging people by the way that they look?
It was one of the hardest things that we did when we had to do. When
Kathy and I judged the Miss California United States pageant.
Really?
Yes, and it was really hard to watch the bathing suit.
It was really hard to like look at a thing that wants you to put a scale on somebody
somebody's body.
On somebody's body.
But it wasn't more so their body, it was more like how confident they were in their body. Really?
That's what a lot of but there was a column that was about their body.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure I gave everyone 5s out of 5.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that's actually everyone's
body is perfect. Yeah.
So
Jinx, you mentioned.
And so then it was the way their clothes fit, I think was one of them, how comfortable they seemed, stuff like that. But then there was this article in Bustle that brought up, well, do we have to get rid of it, or could you just put
fat bodies
in the bikinis and have them be part of the
because that's what they're saying. They're trying to be more inclusive, but so then by being inclusive, they're eliminating this part, which means that we don't want to see it.
Yeah. We want more people to come and be in the competition, but we don't want to see those nasty fat bodies. I mean, really.
Right. I mean, it was really interesting because she said, Gretchen Carlson, who's the chairwoman of Miss America, the Miss America's board of directors, she said that they're no longer a pageant, they're a competition, that they will no longer judge their candidates on their outward physical appearance, and that's huge. They're going to judge you on your they're not going to judge you on your outward appearance because they're interested in what makes you. And then she said, whatever they choose to do, because they're also changing the evening gown portion, but she said whatever they choose to do, it's what comes out of their mouth that we're interested in when they talk about the social impact initiatives.
So is it going to be more than 2 minutes, their answers now?
I don't know, maybe.
Is it going to be like everybody gets like 15 minutes? Because that sounds like it's going to be the whole competition.
Right?
Yeah, because but they have talent.
Yeah, and they said talent was the most popular section.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I care about.
Yeah. Because you want to judge their singing.
I would totally slay Miss America if they said chubbies come in.
Well, that's what they're saying.
It.
They're saying chubbies come in, so maybe you could be the next Miss America.
Maybe I could be the next Miss America, guys, because I would slay talent. I know how to talk to a bitch, and I know how to wear a gown. I'm just saying.
Oh my God, are we in the presence of the new Miss America?
I mean, we might be.
I've never talked about myself this way, and it's only because you're here in the room with us. I'm telling you, she's addictive, guys. Victoria's energy is addictive.
You should definitely check out her website and work with her. Just saying.
What was the other hot topic we had?
The one that you brought up in the beginning of the show.
Oh wait, but I want to talk about the American Airlines.
Oh yes,
which I don't.
Which we just found out about it.
But they are actively using them now. They have, in order to fit more seats onto planes.
Which, by the way, is like 12 more seats. It's not even like that much more.
To make everyone not want to go to the bathroom ever. Because they've shrunk the bathrooms.
Because the bathrooms were already small enough as they were.
Now it's
not like you're all, let me just go in this bathroom and like
exactly
be the Mile High Club. I mean, I'm telling you, it's like almost impossible to be the Mile High Club. Especially now it's going to definitely be.
Maybe that's why they were doing it as well. Too many like sexy times.
Who cares?
Let people live their lives.
Yeah, live your life.
Because what size is it now? 2 foot by 2
feet by 2 feet.
That's what they said.
I don't even think my shoulders are like my shoulders.
Sure,
I'm going to be like,
I'm sure it's going to make people not be able to be on that flight.
Yeah,
and they really have to be taken to court for that.
What I don't understand is how is that even like regulation for somebody who's in a wheelchair?
Well, if you think about the aisles themselves, aren't really. They probably get to use the first class one because, by the way, I think that the friggin' bathroom in first class is still fine.
No, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's changed, and it's not.
But this is American Airlines, right?
It's American Airlines, and the CEO has not ridden. He hasn't even been on the bathroom, the small bathroom.
Well, there we go.
And the complaints have been that the water is splashing. They can't even like wash their hands without it being underneath them, so water's like splashing on everybody. And I'm like, I cannot believe a group of fat people have not been like storming American Airlines and being like, we're suing your ass. I want to start that lawsuit. But even like regular
people, I feel like even a regular person in a like an average size even a man. An average sized man would be uncomfortable in a 2x2. Like that feels really claustrophobic.
No, it's really bad.
Maybe they want everyone to wear stadium pals. Have you ever seen one of those?
What? Oh,
you know where you put the thing on your willy and then you like it's like a condom and then you piss into a bag that's on your leg. Maybe they're just going to give everyone a stadium pal.
Like a colostomy bag that's not necessary.
Yes, like and so the American Airlines stadium pal colostomy bag for everyone. That's what they want.
Oh, good.
Right? Yeah, and you made a point earlier about maybe they want you to like have those like penis pees. Like that's what the women are going to need. They're going to need the insert so they could stand up and pee.
Yeah, or just wear a diaper.
Guys,
it's diaper.
Dreadful.
It's just horrible.
It's all horrible because it's already bad enough. You get so dehydrated on flights. I mean, listen, this is like definitely first world problems. But it is, you get so dehydrated on flights that now really people are not going to want to drink water. It's just not good. It's not healthy. None of this is
and
good.
For them to make how much money on 12 seats?
It's so dumb.
It's 12 seats.
And I bet you people will avoid those flights.
And they made them smaller. The leg room is smaller too. So like it's just ridiculous.
Who designed it?
12 seats.
We're gonna look you up, designer.
You're really not saving that. You're not making that much money on 12 seats.
Vancouver to England?
Oh God, no.
On that flight?
No.
I mean, hopefully that's not. Maybe they're just puddle jumpers. I don't know.
Maybe.
Okay,
let's
talk about how people want to find you.
Yeah, how can people find you, follow you, share you, work with you, all of that? Tell us.
So my address in Vancouver is
if you're hot and you want to date her.
Yes, because I am single.
Hello, you are. Oh, ow, around. Well, it would be weird if you were not single and you did the speed dating.
Yeah, it would be. Wouldn't it? Like, don't worry about it, husband. Yeah, it's fine. No worries. Trying to find a new one.
Just, figuring myself out.
Hey guys, there's my husband over there.
I don't mind him. Yeah. So you can find me on my website, which is bampowlife.com, and I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest at BAM POW LIFE. And give me a little follow along.
Yeah, follow her.
Yes, sounds good. And are you doing any events? Like, do you have? I know there's a lot of online stuff, but do you hold events in Vancouver for people?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I did something at Christmas, so to get over the holidays and your family being like, oh, you're so fat, why are you eating potatoes or whatever. But I haven't got anything up and coming.
All right, we'll think about it.
Yeah.
Because we want to work with you for sure.
Yeah.
And of course, guys, we're always at Plus the Show.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Wait, who's our guest next week?
It is Kumi.
Yes.
Yes, Jennifer. I can't say her last name right now. Oh, it's like
a long name.
Yes, but she just sang with Idina Menzel.
Yes.
And it went viral. And she's also a pageant winner.
That's right.
She is really, really great. She's amazing, and she'll be here next week. And guys, buy your Fatitude tickets.
Yes, please go buy your Fatitude.
Yourself.
Yes, because it's $13. If you can't make it, if you're not in LA, go buy a ticket. Sponsor a girl who is in, trying to transition out of foster care. Make it happen for them, guys.
Yeah, and we have to hit our quota a week before.
Which is next week.
It's next week, guys.
Guys,
we're
you
just
have
going
to
to be
do
talking
it.
about this at nauseam.
You guys are going to get. You're going to get all of the DMs and the IMs and the personal messages and texts and calls.
And information is everywhere. We have a Facebook event. It's on Instagram in our event story.
Yes.
It is on our website. You can find it at plustheshow.com. Please don't make us
You could go to tug.com and Google Fatitude. It'll come up.
Yes, and if there's one by you, there are other screenings happening.
Yeah.
So you can find one closer to you too. But buy a ticket for ours.
But buy a ticket from ours and sponsor some youngins.
Until next week.
We love you.
We love you guys. Thanks for
guys
hanging through the blackout with us.
Yes.
We'll see you
next week.